Hey, everybody. It's Dave, and this is the Slightly Informed Opinions of Dave, the Weedcast. There is a theme song, and it's pretty hilarious, but I don't know if the internet's ready for that today. What the hell? I'll risk it. Here we go. It's the Slightly Informed Opinions of Dave, the Weedcast. It's super low budget and I don't have a band. I'll just make the instrument sounds with my mouth and my hand. There's going to be exciting guests and an outrageous co-host. You will find out that this show is the most. I'm gonna do my own thing. It's gonna be super cool. We're gonna have a good time. And if you don't like it, you can respectfully disagree. I'm just kidding. You can suck it. Yeah. It's got a nice beat, and you can probably dance to it. I had a regular, normal show scheduled, but as sometimes is wont to happen in the entertainment industry, my guest didn't really cancel. They just didn't want to participate. So I didn't really try too hard. Hey, oh wow, we had a viewer, and then they left. Was it something I said? Maybe it's me. I don't know. Do I offend? So anyway, I had a guest, and then they for whatever reason they're not able to be here, and I kind of tried a little bit to get a replacement, but I didn't try too hard. I actually found a couple people that wanted to come on, but I didn't put a lot of effort into it. We'll have them on again later in a future date. Yesterday was a tragic day for the Missouri cannabis community. There's my one viewer. Thank you for whoever popped in. Please comment, participate in the show. So anyway, yesterday, Waxy Brown suddenly and unexpectedly passed away, according to social media. Now, I have to say that that's just according to social media. I've been unable to find any official reports online or otherwise that have any information about his passing. But I'm sure the social media is probably correct and that he has passed away, because I texted and reached out to him, and we've been in pretty much not constant communication, but daily communication, and he's usually quite responsive when I've texted or called him. And there's been nothing back. So that leads me to believe that he probably has passed. Not that anybody would hoax that. That would be a horrible thing to do to someone. Or maybe there's miscommunication or something like that. We have a comment. It's Lisa. Oh, hey, Lisa. Yep. Yeah. So Lisa says, R.I.P. Daniel and Dave. Waxy was a great show. Yep, he was a great show. Thanks so much for tuning in, Lisa. I'm not doing a real whole show. I don't have any guests. My guest canceled. I'm going to kind of give Lisa her own private update since she bothered to show up for the show. And so my guest kind of canceled, and then Waxy passed away, and I just kind of thought I'd just come on for 5 or 10 minutes and do a brief memorial for them. So I was just kind of giving a community update for the facts that I know them about what's going on with Waxy. I've reached out to some people I know that know him, and understandably they may be grieving or dealing with other things, and they haven't had time to get back to me. And that's also understandable, since this is a recent development. And there's been another tragedy that Lisa also pointed out. There was another death in the community. Sudden, well, I don't think it was suddenly and unexpectedly. I think this other gentleman, Donnie Tsunami, who was a rapper in Missouri, I think he had some health problems from what I read online. I don't know. This is just from what I read online. I really didn't know him or Waxy very well. I had met Donnie Tsunami at a event in Missouri briefly, and at the time I didn't even know who he was. He was just some dude that was hanging out at an event that I was at. He was just like, around. I saw him around a lot, and then he came over and chatted me up for a while, and I got to know him a little bit. And he was just seemed like a regular good dude. But anyway, there are a couple of celebrities in the Missouri cannabis community that have died in the recent past, and it's tragic. Waxy was a character that was bigger than life, and Donnie Tsunami was, a rapper. He's out there putting himself out there. Both important people in the cannabis community, and it's just kind of tragic that people pass, especially when it's sudden and unexpected. It kind of, you're kind of leaves you kind of scratching your head about life. You know what I mean? Like, could happen to anybody at any minute. We could all go. I was just last week. I was chatting with Waxy, and we had big plans for future podcasts episode that we were going to do together, and we talked back and forth, and he actually contacted me about he was interested in my micro business, and there was maybe some interest there for me. And so he was a good dude. I got to know him a little bit. Like I said, I only met him on the podcast. I talked to him on the phone before that a couple of times, and I was getting ready to go try and meet him and spend some time with him. If you get a chance, go to my Facebook page, The Slightly Informed Opinions of Dave, the Weedcast on Facebook. I know I said I'm not doing any cannabis content on there, but this one kind of breaks the rules a little bit because of the passing of these guys. I did a little memorial video with some of the clips that happened last week in the show that I did with Waxy, and he talks about a lot about like the Canna Corner, and talks about his good experiences there. He talks about JC Cerise, who was a past guest on my show, also known as Dr. Smoke, and had nothing but good things to say about him, and nothing but good things to say about me and Magnificent Messiah. And we talked a lot about micro business and his thoughts about that. We talked a lot about a lot of relevant topics that are going on. If you know Waxy, he's an advocate, and he's very passionate, and he's very animated, and he definitely will be missed. So anyway, if you get a chance, go to my Slightly Informed Opinions, Dave. I put together a kind of a clip of the highlights of the longer show. And Waxy even actually briefly talked about his thoughts about the next life last week. So go check it out. It'll be interesting. The full video is a good watch too, but the highlights are cool. It's kind of like a little memorial for them. So, okay? Well, cool. Lisa, you're such a sweetheart. Were you watching live last week, Lisa, or did you watch it after the fact? Most people are watching after the fact. A lot of people don't get a chance to watch live. I understand people have real lives. Not everybody has a chance to podcast all the time. Oh, Lisa did both. You're such a sweetheart, Lisa. Big shout out to Lisa, by the way. She's one of my regulars and one of my big fans. I know Lisa. Sweetheart, good, great person in the cannabis community. She's usually hanging out around the Angels. I love the Angels. So I think maybe appropriate just to have a minute of silence. Let's remember Donnie Tsunami. I know a lot of you probably know him a lot better than I did in the cannabis community. I'm kind of new around here, relatively speaking. And like I said, I only got to meet him the one time. And a moment of silence for Waxy Brown. A tireless cannabis advocate. Tragic. We're always here for such a short time. And like I said before, it's always tragic when people pass early in life or unexpectedly. Um, Always try, just especially when somebody passes unexpectedly, it just makes you want to try and grab life, by the horns and appreciate the people around you that you love and try and live every moment. And Donnie Tsunami and Waxy Brown seemed like they were a couple of characters that kind of grabbed life by the balls and lived it hard, wrote it hard and put it up wet, so to speak. So it was great to be able to connect with both of those gentlemen before they passed. I'm going to try and be a source of accurate information about anything I find out about Waxy's passing. I don't know, maybe it's none of my business, but I think the community, is understandably wanting to know about memorial services and so forth. And as I find out stuff like that, I'll pass it on to the community. You probably also can find out stuff on his Facebook, Daniel Jones, or Doobies would probably also, where he was, I think, what did he say? He was the promoter there for Doobies. Probably will also have something. I know Doobies is planning a big event this weekend. That, as far as I know, is still going to happen. In fact, from what I read on Facebook, if Waxy was alive, he'd have it no other way. On with the show. The show must go on. He's big about the cannabis community. We got another person joined in here at the last minute. I'm just getting ready to sign off. So before I sign off, if the other person wants to join in the chat and have a comment, this has basically been a memorial for Donnie Tsunami and Waxy Brown. Yeah. Yep. The event is on the 12th in Rolla. Oh my gosh. Who's supposed to be there? Gosh, I should know who's supposed to be there. I actually am friends with at least one of the sponsors. Magnificent Messiah is one of the sponsors. He'll be there. There's going to be some big name artists, a nationally known artist there, and some other stuff going on. And it should be a good time. I've never been to one of their events there, but I, always intended and planned to go. And, I'm going to get out there soon if I can. Okay. Lisa and gang, thanks everybody so much for tuning in for the Waxy Brown and Donnie Tsunami memorial episode. Gone too soon. The lesson learned here is to just live life for the moment while you can and try and love those around you. Yeah, Lisa is excited for everybody that can go on the 12th, and she wants everybody to have a great evening, and that's a great way to sign off. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks everybody for tuning in to check out my memorial event. We'll see you. I do have a show lined up for next week, and I'll be promoting that in the days to come. Stay tuned for that. Take care, everybody.